Hi Jamaicans.com. I know I was missing last week, but I'm back. Thankfully, to my Jamaicans.com family. Trust me, you were really there for me last week. As always, this is another episode of Reason with Ashleigh-Ann Mowatt. I'm Ashleigh-Ann Mowatt, and I will definitely tell you why I was missing last week. If you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen an unfortunate update on my Facebook page, but I'll soon get to that. Just come in and tell me where you're connecting from. What's your name? What are you doing for the Easter? Everything. I want to talk to you tonight. Oh, I see people coming in. So tell me what's your name and tell me where you're connecting from. I am broadcasting from the beautiful city of Kingston, Jamaica, and it's a cool evening. It's a cool evening in Kingston. Hi, Azez. Azez is here. She says, "Evening, family." Azez is my mother from another country. Like you just say your second or your third mom. Yeah, Azez is one of my mommy. So mommy, don't get jealous if you're watching this. Alright, so tonight we are going to be talking about domestic violence. I know you guys have been following the story of the woman who was killed by her common law husband last week, right? And her daughter who witnessed it was actually a double murder. So he killed her and committed suicide right then and there. And it was tragic, but I want to, before I get into the details of that story, I want you to tell me where exactly you're connecting from. Hi, Gregory, and give me some hearts if you like what I'm talking about. Give me some reactions, you understand? Give me some hearts if you're hearing me clearly as well. Hi, Marjorie. Marjorie, where are you connecting from? I think Azez is in the UK. Hi, Opal from Florida, Orlando. I think Orlando is it? What's the weather like in Orlando? I see quite a number of people coming in and I really appreciate it. So let me know if you know about the incident that took place last week with the man and his common law wife, in which he shot and killed her, and it was reported that she was actually pregnant. So she was pregnant. So he not only killed her, but he killed her unborn child. Hi, Douglas. Hi. Oh, Marjorie, you're connecting from Tampa. Azez, why do I believe that you're in the UK? You're in Maryland. All right. Let me know if you know of that incident. Trust me, when I heard the story, it was traumatizing. Imagine you're carrying a baby. You're bringing forth a possible new life to the world, and your life is cut short. Well, not only your life, but the life of a baby, your baby, and yourself. Yes, Gregory, it's very sad. Very sad. I don't know if you guys have been following, but basically, in the reports that I have read, the 12-year-old daughter of that woman who was killed by her common law husband, witnessed exactly what happened. So she saw when her father, who is reported to be a correctional officer, went for his gun and he was chasing after her mom, and she said, "Mommy, run!" But it was too late because he caught up with her, and the reports have also said that he shot her first in her stomach. You understand? So he aimed the gun at her stomach first, and then I don't remember where else, but it was as if it was intentional, if you think about it. And then when he recognized that she would possibly die, then he put the gun to his head. I mean, it's amazing how even in 2019 we are still struggling with the issue of domestic violence in Jamaica. Hi Hester from the Virgin Islands, and Marlene is here from Long Island, New York. Stephanie from Colorado. Yes, Marjorie, it is so sad. Oh, yes. You can check the Jamaica Gleaner. It has been reported on there. Yvonne Malone from Newark. I have a friend in Newark right now. Lloyd up top Lloyd from West Palm Beach, Florida. Big up yourself. Big up all of the Florida peeps tuning in. If you're tuning in from Jamaica, like you're watching me in the same country, let me know. Alright, so I see that you guys are a bit quiet with the domestic violence issue. I get the case that I just brought forward. I don't know if you are familiar with it. I see a few people saying that it's the first time they're hearing about it. But honestly, when I heard about it, the first thought that came to my head was I was observing a presentation being made on the same topic of domestic violence a couple years ago, and I remember, as a matter of fact, it wasn't two, it was actually about 2 years ago, and I remember the presenter saying that domestic violence, so violence interrelationship or spousal abuse, all of that, it's always or most often starts with an emotional manifestation of that violence. So it's usually an emotional or a verbal, so not physical, no, verbal, and then it moves from that if it's not addressed at that stage. And the reason I that stuck with me is that I hear a lot of people saying that, well, if you know say this man was so violent and every minute you have to run from him and your children, they're afraid of him, nobody wants to report him, and so why you never pack up and leave, and plus you're pregnant. But the reality is, the minute you start looking at the victim and asking the victim why you never do this, what it means that you don't understand domestic violence. Domestic violence, from what I have come to understand, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. There is a literal start to it and there's an end to it. Well, there's a start. It starts somewhere. Where I don't think we found the end of the cycle, but there is a start. There's a starting point, and it's not at the point where the physical element of it develops or becomes more frequent. Hi Fiona. Hi Hester. Yes, it is very tragic. I will soon talk about the fact that the young lady, the 12-year-old, observed what happened between her parents, watched her father kill her mom. I'll soon get into that, but I want you guys to share with me what you think are some of the ways, are some of the signs that you may be dealing with a case of domestic abuse, domestic violence. As I said, I heard the story, very sad indeed, but my dear, it's fulfillment of prophecy. Don't mean to sound pessimistic, but it will get worse instead of better if you notice every day a similar incident. You know, I really hope we don't have a similar incident. I really hope we don't. I don't think it will serve, well, it definitely won't serve any good purpose, but I think we need to try to address it. I see what you're saying, as I read the fulfillment of prophecy, but it's still very sad, and I think there's so much that we can do to address it. Ivan says, were they living together, and did this man kill his unborn child? Well, we don't know if the child was his, right? There has been talks, you know, people always talking, so these are rumors now, that she actually got pregnant by another man, and the husband, found out, and that was his reaction. Gregory says it's been an epidemic for the last 3 years. Last year, almost 2 a week. Most reported causes were cheating and so-called disrespect. Women mostly less powerful to control situations. Tanisha says, that is sad and heartbroken. Valid point, Gregory. Valid point. But here's my thing. If your partner cheats on you, you never have justification for putting your hands on someone to inflict pain or to say words that inflict hurt and pain. You are never justified to do that. And as I was telling you, I have been interacting based on the work that I do. I have been interacting with a number of experts in this area. So some of the things that I share with you is based on my engagement with them. And with domestic violence, it's that emotional. And I think if we as Jamaicans don't begin to understand the cycle, then we can't get to the place where we are controlling the cycle. Hi, Junior. If you're just joining the conversation, we are talking about the cycle of domestic violence in Jamaica, domestic abuse, particularly being brought forward with the recent news of a man killing his wife, who was pregnant at the time, his common-law wife, because they were married, killing his common-law wife, and then turning the gun on himself to end his life. Maybe says no form of abuse ever gets better. It's always there, somewhere waiting to erupt. Exactly. Good night, Rando. Hi, Drugav. You said very good. All right. Okay, here's my thing, and I want you guys to share your perspective, because as I tell you, I really like when you help me with the discussion. That's the purpose of Reason with Ashleigh-Ann Mowatt, right? How do you detect that someone is violent? The person you're associating with, and I'm not talking about just your partners, right? Or the person you're dating, or the person you're in a relationship. Just overall, how do you detect when someone is violent? Rocky says, but he was beating her daily. She make up her mind and left who give him the right to kill her. And next thing, the government need to stop issuing gun. That's the last part of the conversation. The last part of your comment, Rocky. That's interesting. Do you guys believe that we should impose a restriction on gun in Jamaica? Gun license in Jamaica? That's something that we can probably look into. What do you think? Junior says it's an ongoing situation. It happens here too in the USA. It's a global phenomenon, unfortunately. So it's one of those unfortunate truths that transcends societies. All right. Marjorie says, why can't people just walk away from situations or get some help before it explodes to violence? Marjorie, I have spoken with survivors of domestic abuse, and they will tell you that during that time, at that stage in their life, they are not thinking about I need to leave. It does not occur to them, and I think it's also unfair for us to sit outside and look in and say, well, she sit down and take the beating. Well, she sit down and take the cheating. We have to also recognize that, as I tell you, domestic violence is not limited to that situation that you may overheard, the situation you overheard or you hear about from a colleague or you see for yourself. It started somewhere. The traits of the perpetrator, they are clear and they're specific, and the same thing, the traits of the victim or the survivor, as most experts like to call them, they are specific, and they are specific. You understand? And it's something that should be treated, that I believe should be treated more like how you would treat the flu in Jamaica. Seriously. We need to be treating domestic violence and perpetrators and survivors of domestic violence, including the children, as people in need of help, therapy, and treatment. That's exactly how I think it should be, because I think just how we are reasoning it, it's not addressing the root cause and not looking at some important factors, including the traits of the individual. So as I was asking earlier, I want you to tell me if you can identify when someone is violent. Juna says, good night. Tasha says, if a partner cheats, killing them and yourself, not the answer. There are always red flags. That person is not for you. When blatant cheating and disrespect occurs, it's time to run them. Ivan says, if a man hit his woman one time, it's one time too many. Forgot some men get whooping from their women as well. No adult should hit it. Exactly, Ivan. No one should be hitting anyone. We should keep your hand to yourself. That's it. Keep your hand to yourself. Yvonne says, I stayed in my abusive relationship because of my children, and it was my friend that let me understand that I must leave. And Yvonne, I'm so happy and proud of you that you came to that realization, right? But as I was saying a short while ago, there are specific traits. There are specific thinking of the victim or the survivor that may lead them to believe that it is okay to be in this situation, right? Most of the time, the perpetrators themselves of domestic abuse lived a life of violence as children, right? So it's just moving the cycle forward in their future relationships, and you understand, and it just continues. As I says, the first act of abuse from my ex-husband, I took my infant and ran. I never look back. Today he's busy abusing others. And you know, Aziz, what I would say to that, you need to report that man. You need to report that man. We have to get out of the habit of seeing incidents happening that are potentially damaging or are damaging to other people and to ourselves, and just allowing it to go on because it's not our business. We have to go move out of that cycle, especially if we want to move forward. I can say this, and this is something that somebody older than me said. My generation, we are so focused on our mental health. We will give up a very well paid job, a very nice partner, and when I say nice partner, good looking, have money, just because we are not mentally stable in that situation. It triggers something mentally for us. And I think that that perspective on life, I think is something that is valuable, and I think that's something that other people outside of my generation, the millennials, that you can adopt. You understand? So I know many of you may know someone who have been abused. You may know someone who has been identified as an abuser. But I think the most important thing for us whenever we're looking at cases of domestic violence is to always try to identify what are those characteristics, behaviors that triggers the incident that you're seeing, and how can we address those behaviors. So I will tell you some of the things that I've learned. You see, for domestic violence, it always starts from a place of hurt. So there's something within that perpetrator, right, that gives him or her, because best believe, as Ivan said, women can be abusers as well. Give them there's something within them that gives them the feeling or the power, or the feeling of power and strength whenever they inflict hurt and pain onto somebody else. And that is stemming from them trying to process the same hurt that they're going through. For the person who is being inflicted, being hurt, it is never your responsibility to reason out why that individual is like that. You just need to identify that that person is violent and you don't need that person in your space. Or you may have to limit the amount of time and the things that you do or the things that you even say and your engagement with that person. And I tell you, it is not limited to partners. You may have friends who are violent in their words, violent in their thoughts, and it comes out and you may be ignoring it, right? And then possibly a couple years down the line, it picks up and it pops up in a very brutal and unfortunate way, right? One of the things I believe, as I said it earlier, somebody said it earlier, some of the victims of these incidents choose to stay in that situation because of their children. Let me just make it very clear. The children are also being abused. The children are also feeling that pain, that discomfort, that tension, that bad energy, that negative energy that's in the household. They are feeling every bit of it. So they too, whenever there's an opportunity for the survivor to escape that situation, to be removed and to take the children away from that situation, they need counseling. They need to be treated just as how you would treat them if it is that they have the flu. I'm not telling you to give them medication, but there are treatment methods. There are not medication, but overall therapy, counseling that is necessary for all parties involved in domestic violence cases. I mean, if I'm saying things that are valuable, please share some hearts. Please give me some likes. Share the video and share your thoughts. Reason with Ashleigh-Ann Mowatt, that's exactly what we do here. Alright, I want to read some of your comments. Tasha says, domestic violence never happens overnight. Exactly. There is verbal abuse, then it progresses. Some stay due to that's all they know. Jamaican government need to do more programs with resources and tools for victims and perpetrators. Tasha, I'm so happy that you made the point that there needs to be tools for perpetrators. Sometimes the perpetrators have no clue that they are violent, because violence also is a learned behavior. So it's something that them learn from you. Anyway, you understand? And sometimes it's from their parents, sometimes it's from a sibling, sometimes it's from, I really appreciate all the hearts, sometimes it's from an incident or incidents that occur in the past, which were left unresolved. So I'm happy, Tasha, that you brought up that point. Hi, Carol. Is this Carol or Carola? I don't want to mispronounce your name. So she says, many women are staying because of financial dependence. We are fighting for an unconditional basic income. That's an unfortunate, that's another reason why some survivors choose to stay with the abusive partner. Nadine says, domestic violence is not only physical. It's verbal, emotional, controlling behavior, and much more. It's a vicious cycle, and no one should try to fix that person. Nadine, I think the person who should be, not the person who should fix the person is that person, if you understand what I mean. So the only person who can change you is yourself. And that's when you decide that you are ready to change. Not to say that you can't get treatment. You can get treatment. But whatever treatment, therapy, counseling that you are receiving, You will not change until you yourself are ready. You're ready to change. Maybe says some women can't support themselves and so they take the abuse, which is sad. All right, Cynthia. Oh, really? You hit me. You're dead? All right, Cynthia. Hi, Patrice. Yes, verbally, mentally, and physically. Generational trauma. That is it, Nadine. Thank you so much. Yvonne says, when I left my children, I was so upset with... Okay, when I left my children, was so upset with me leaving their dad. Yvonne, that's another thing. It's a very touchy situation, and I always say this to people. You see, domestic cases, they are unique. There is no one way to fix things, right? So sometimes it goes back to the basic thing of communication. The children are as much as a part of the family, and the changes happening in the family as the mother and the father. And it's so important that the children, they aren't excluded. They aren't excluded. Their thoughts, their feelings, their behaviors, they are not ignored, because this is something that will influence this life-changing experience. Because it is life-changing, this is something that will influence their future self. How will they behave in the future? And I mean, guys, I'm no expert on domestic violence, but I'm just sharing with you based on interviews I've done, based on presentations and conferences and forums I've attended on the same issue, and just seeing it being reported and brought forward in the media. I'm able to qualify my conversation and my arguments with some of this. All right, so we definitely know how to identify domestic violence and a violent person, and I'm glad that a number of you have recognized that we need to be doing much more to assist not only victims but the perpetrators of violence. I think one of the most important things is that we get into the habit of reporting people. We hear something suspicious, as much as them say this informal culture in Jamaica, informal for dead culture is still rampant and still very much present in Jamaica and across the world. We need to bring it forward. We bystanders listening, hearing what is happening, we have to ensure that we are helping and we're still offering whatever assistance we can to our neighbors, to our friends, to our family members. You witnessed any incident of violence, you report it to the authorities. You are saving lives. Think of it that way. You are saving lives. It's not, if you know of somebody who tends to be violent, if the person is below the age of consent, then this is something that you'll have to bring forward to their guardians or parents. But once it's an adult, you have to report that person there. We can't take no chance. We cannot take chances, right? We have to be a little bit more mindful. So I saw a lot of rumors, I saw a lot of stories coming out of the incident that was reported, and if you're just joining the conversation, we are talking about a story that was reported last week Monday, wherein a correctional officer killed his wife and then killed himself, and the wife was said to, common law wife, and the wife was alleged to be pregnant. Yes. Good night, Ivan. Sophia says some females say oh, he loves me, that's why he abused me. She says, bush. All right. Hi, Zai. We need mediators. We do. We have mediators. We have justices of the peace. We have pastors. We have counselors. We have so many mediators. We need to be utilizing our resources. Hi, Belford. I am good. I am blessed. All right. So I won't be here with you for much longer, but I just wanted to fill you in on what's been happening. So I'll start with the good news first. So the good news is that I'm really close to my driving test. So my instructor has been telling me that I'm improving. I've done parking, left and right side, parallel parking that is. I've done reversing. I've been driving all over Kingston. And the next thing that I need to do now is I believe I still have to do some more parking and reversing. But after that, I need to go do the test route. And after the test route, I'm going to do my driving test. I am going to get my license. I hope you guys, when I started the... Hi Belford, you have a story for me? Well, you can always send me a message. You know where to send me a message, Belford, on my Facebook page. All right. Yes, I started the journey at the start of Lent, and you know Easter is right here, and I promise you that I will not allow April to finish and I don't do my driving test. I need to do my driving test and go and get my license, and I'm going to show you guys once I get it, because I am going to get it. Hi Lloyd. Lloyd says, Derek, give it 2 cents no. Where's Derek? I don't see Derek in the conversation. Aziz says the governor banned me off the roads. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Aziz. Alright, so that was the good news. I'm working on getting my driver's license. Alright, the not so good news. If you have been following my Facebook page, you would have seen that last week Tuesday was possibly the worst day in my life. I was cornered and robbed of my handbag. I was on my way home when it happened, and basically I wasn't hurt, so they didn't touch me. But remember, I was telling you, well, I should say they didn't inflict physical pain. Remember, I was telling you that you don't have to touch somebody to inflict pain and hurt. Well, trust me, they did not. But I was completely, even up to now, I'm still shaken by the whole incident. So basically, this is it. I was on my way home. Decided to take a public passenger vehicle home because it was light out. You know, we are in spring, right? And it's not so dark in the evening, so it actually get dark probably like minutes to 7 in Jamaica now. Well, in Kingston now. So I decided to take a public taxi home. I usually ask for a turn off. I didn't take a turn off this time around. I decided to walk in. I haven't done that in a very long time. So I said, all right, let me do it. On my way in, a person riding a bike with a passenger, passed me. I heard the bike, and I've always heard about bike thieves. So when I heard the bike, I turned around to see exactly who was riding the bike. I couldn't make out the face because the person had a kerchief tied on his face. But the person sitting on the back looked like a woman. So I'm like, all right, probably they're on their way home. Within 2 to 3 minutes, it wasn't even so long. Within a minute and a half, I heard the bike again, and this time around it had turned and was exiting the same avenue that I was walking into. But it was strange to me when I saw the bike approaching the curb and then entered the banking, right? And I'm talking about this, and it kind of given me jitters because it was just a traumatic experience. So at that moment, I was wondering, why is the bike riding so close to me? Why is it coming so close to me? Not knowing that at that time, my brain was not processing that these people, they are thieves. It wasn't until they rode straight up to me, up onto the corner, and said, give me a bag. Just give me a bag. And I said, I think the only thing that I said was, okay. I was so shocked. The person at the back, so but when they approached me, I still cannot remember the face of the rider, but the guy at the back, bleached faced, right? White. White faced. He took the bag, grabbed the bag same time, and sped off. When they sped off, I screamed. That's the time I screamed. It just did not occur to me at that time that what was happening. It wasn't after they sped off. And there's so many lessons that I've learned from it. It hasn't been easy for me. So last week I had all plans last week Tuesday to do the live and to talk about the incident with the lady who was killed by her common law husband. So I wanted to do this live last week Tuesday, but my phone was gone. My 2 phones was gone. So one that I've been doing the live, my purse, everything that was in my handbag, they took my handbag. So they took all vitals, banking cards, everything. Thankfully to my Jamaicans.com family, I now have a new phone. 2 new phones, right? 2 bashy new phones. I have replaced most of my bank cards. My TRN was in my purse. I had replaced that. I was able to shut down and secure my data on my phone once I was able to get into my house. What else has happened? And I'm able to do this live and to share with you. I have been getting so many messages from you. A lot of people just recently this evening, Drea Marie sent me a message on my Facebook page, and it just warmed my heart. The fact that you guys really place so much interest in finding out about me. I mean, I do this live every week because I like to present. This is what I do. As a journalist, I like to talk with people. I like to share information in different ways. But that's what I do. But to know that you will go the extra effort just to know that I'm okay, I truly appreciate it. Truly. So, I am getting better. I still dream about the incident. I dream about 10 million ways that I could have done it differently, but I am just sticking with something that Steve Harvey said. Whenever you feel depressed and out of it and feel like the world is against you, I felt like that for a couple of days. Just remember about all the things that you are grateful for, and just keep on reminding yourself about those things. If it means you have to write them down for remember the things that you're grateful for, do it. And that is what I've been doing, along with talking to people about the incident, just overall, and doing things differently in terms of ensuring my safety and security. So I am not as, how should I say, downtrodden as the last week, and I'm happy. You know something too? I don't regret it happening. I don't regret it happening because I think it has definitely made me stronger and it has made me wiser. I'm still shaken up. I'm still shaken up by it. Trust me, I dream about it. I dream about that robbery every night except last night. And I know I may dream about it some more. But in the space of 1 week, I have seen how so many people, including my parents, and my siblings, have rallied around me to just ensure that I'm okay and I'm safe. I'm talking to you guys and my hands are shaking because it's in a sense it's so surreal. it is so surreal for me. But I am just grateful. I am so grateful for the community, for this family, for Jamaicans.com. I'm so grateful for my family right here in Jamaica and overseas. I am so happy for every single one of you guys who continue to support me. So some things are kind of have to be placed on the back burner. Some things will have to slow down, and so, but I am still going to achieve all the goals that I've set out to achieve for 2019, and I'm going to be okay. All right, and I hope I can inspire somebody tonight. Right, I hope the conversation that we have here will not end here. You will share it on your pages. On Facebook, you will share it even outside of Facebook, and you will continue the conversation by commenting and just making other people aware. I'm just going to read a couple comments, and then that's it for me. Belfort says, I'm very sorry to hear this. These boys are to be removed from society. Sharon says, so sad, sorry to hear. Donna says, sorry to hear about your handbag. It's better to lose your bag than lose your life. Donna, that is something that I am so happy about. I'm happy that I did not second guess them, right? Because I did not see a weapon. I didn't see it. But the thing is, it was two of them. And I can't say, all right, I didn't see a weapon, so let me just, play hard. I did not see a weapon, but I was intimidated. Seriously intimidated. Aziz says, we all may be miles apart, but you're always in our hearts. Oh, thank you so much, Aziz. Gregory says, Ashley will pick us all up from the airport soon. Yay! Yes! Bet you never know. Bet you never know. Ashleigh-Ann Mowatt will be doing airport shuttle pretty soon. Thanks, Gregory. Thank you guys so much for all your encouraging words. I will make an effort to reply to every single comment that has been made tonight. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the conversation. Trust me. So I'm gonna go back and watch a video and just see the engagement. It made me feel good. So keep on doing what you do. Patrick says, best wishes to you too, Patrick. Marianne says, you did the right thing, my dear. They only got stuff. It was difficult getting them back, but every experience is a lesson taught. God's good, their day will come. Indeed. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for listening, and enjoy the Easter. Please be safe. Please. If you want to drink, eat, be merry, fine, but just do it safely, right? And be on the lookout. There are a lot of people who are troubled. That's what I'll say. They're troubled, and they may not enjoy seeing you happy. So just be mindful and enjoy, and be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful of the people around you, but still enjoy the season and the holiday for what it is. And I will give you an update pretty soon on my driver's license. All right, take good care of yourself, and good night.